Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to the farm. This is an update for friends and family, so you can giggle and laugh at me. I've been working on the barn, and I've been working on the barn for days. Thomas and I have dived off into this with both feet, and it's been a real long, slow process. But we're making a dent. I'll show you a few before and after video clips of how this thing has evolved, and believe me, I'm impressed with the progress that we've made. So come along with us this morning and I'll show you what I did to the barn. When we started this little nightmare, you were unable to drive a car through the barn. And we've kind of gotten it to the point where you can actually do so. Of course, we've moved stuff back out in the middle because we're reorganizing other stuff, but believe me, you can actually walk through the barn and not trip over anything. And once I move a couple of boxes and stuff, you can actually drive all the way through it. This is a major improvement. This area behind me had tires stacked up as tall as I am, had boxes, engine blocks, and all sorts of stuff. And we can actually go through and open the door. I mean, just to prove it, my kids haven't seen this door open in a long time. And you could actually use this door again, which is something we haven't been able to do in quite a while. I had some shelving over here with engine blocks and stuff underneath it. All that stuff's been cleaned out and moved. And over here on the side, I've taken all the toolboxes that were at the other end of the barn and I moved them down here. And I've gathered all of my power tools in one place, which is kind of funny to me because I had power tools scattered over 4 or 5 different places. Now, I pretty much got them all in one place. And all my toolboxes are right in one place instead of being scattered across an entire wall of the barn. At least they're in one place now. Now here's another view of this corner. I went and took that big shelving unit and twisted it from out in the middle of the barn and put it up against the wall. And we've got all of our jacks, the cherry picker for pulling engines, engine stands, all the jacks and hydraulic jacks and stuff, jack stands and all that stuff is all in one place now instead of being scattered around. And yeah, I like how this is going to work out. It gives us more room here, which is a good thing because that means we can work on Thomas's Miata easier. The area where all the toolboxes were along the wall, that's where a bunch of unused machine tools and stuff have all been put. I've got my buffers, I've got my grinders, I've got my sharpeners, I got my wire wheels, I've got my drill press and everything all set up. So we've got this whole area is all machine tools, table saws and all that kind of stuff. It's all in one place now and it has easy access to the power drops that I've got set up over here. And although it may not look like it behind me and beside me over here, the tables that are here, my workbench, I got a workbench here that's on wheels and I got a table over here. It's been kind of a running joke in my family for quite a while because these tables, they were literally piled this high with stuff. And now the stuff you see is the stuff that needs to go to other buildings on the property. I've actually gotten it down. Last night, you didn't get to see it, but last night I had this table completely cleared off and nothing on it. Nothing. Which is something that hadn't happened in a long time. And I've kind of gotten down to the point where everything on here and everything over on this table is stuff that needs to go to other buildings on the property. And that's my project for today. Clear out all of this stuff, and get it out of the barn, and get it off of these tables. I'll actually have room to work on stuff again. That hadn't happened in like forever. Now this thing behind me is kind of my nemesis here lately. Back before I retired, Verizon/GTE had me farmed out to an insurance company. I worked for this insurance company for about 6 years, handling all their servers, their data communications, stuff like that. I was an IT guy. They were getting rid of hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of cubicles, and they were throwing them away, just putting them in a truck and taking them to the dump. And I saw that as extremely wasteful. Now, I saw this insurance company go from, what was it, 2 different buildings with 7 floors with 450, 500 employees. After 6 years, they were down to less than 45 employees. Think about that. 1 floor with about 35 to 45 employees after having hundreds in multiple buildings and multiple floors. I watched this place slowly dwindle down to almost nothing. And they took these cubicle things and just threw them away. So it was like, hey, can I have a couple of those? And it's like, what are you going to do with them? I said, I'm going to put them out in my barn. Why would you put it out in your barn? Well, there's big filing cabinets on both sides. The low, wide ones like they have in offices. I saw a use for those. They had cubbies up here. I saw a use for those. They had these big L-shaped tables, which I saw a use for, and drawer units, which I saw a use for. And I figured I'd go and set it up in the barn, and I'd use one for my electronics workstation, where I could solder stuff and work on things. And saw the other one, I'd go and put computer stuff over here and work on my computer stuff over here. So I have computers, and amateur radio and electronics on this side. I have all my test equipment set up and everything. Well, after a few years, it's become real apparent I don't like the heat out in the barn. And my test equipment doesn't like the heat out in the barn. So I took all that stuff and moved it into the guest house, into what used to be the master bedroom. And Mrs. P calls it my studio. That's where my electronics and stuff are. And then I've got a ham shack at the other end of the guest house in what used to be a large bedroom. And that's where my ham radio stuff is, and all my electronics. So these were a great idea, but yeah, it didn't work out. Now here's the problem. I got 2 cubicle units. They're in good condition, although they've been out in the barn, and yeah, they're a little dusty and dusty and crusty, not rusty. But how do you get rid of these things? It's not like I can go and throw them in my dumpster. They won't fit. And I'm afraid if I show up at the dump, because I have to throw it in a dumpster at the dump, I'm afraid they won't take them. So I'm not real sure what to do with these things. But I can tell you right now, I need to get rid of them because they take up a lot of floor space. And I'm not using them for what I had intended. I would rather go and take this entire double cubicle unit and remove it from the barn and replace it with a few shelving units to hold the stuff that's in it and be done with it. And I'd have a whole lot of floor space back in my barn. Yeah, it's another project. You know, I joked when I started this barn project it would take me a month or two to do it. Well, it's been weeks. Several weeks. Coming out here, chipping away at it for 4 to 6 hours a day. And been a royal pain in the ass, but like I say, I'm making progress. I've got filing cabinets full of stuff like Chilton's manuals. I've got service manuals for 1973 Chevy light-duty trucks and full-size trucks, and I've got Haynes manuals for Volkswagen Rabbits. We haven't owned a Volkswagen Rabbit in like 10 years. And kit car stuff and good Lord. What I ought to do is I ought to take all this stuff and put it on eBay. Because somebody would like to have an original 1973 Chevrolet light-duty truck service manual. And this is from Chevrolet, not Haynes. And I've got a whole bunch of Chilton's manuals, Haynes manuals, and all that stuff. Here's one I had to laugh at when I pulled out. This is a West Coast Cobra assembly manual for a West Coast 427 SC Cobra that I never got. I wanted one of these but couldn't justify the money. And instead of buying and building a Cobra like this, we went and bought 7 acres out in the middle of nowhere. To tell you the truth, the property and everything, much better idea than this. Oh yeah. Long service manuals for a long defunct tractor company from Czechoslovakia that no longer exists. And we haven't had this tractor for quite a while. I think I can get rid of this. Wait, I could put it on eBay and make some money. Do I want to waste the time? I don't know. But yeah, I'm slowly whittling away at it. You can actually drive something through here now. I can see the tops of my tables and my workbench, and it's coming together. So go ahead and laugh, but I'm making progress. Come back and see us. See me make a little progress on some other stuff. Appreciate you watching. And send me an email. Leave a comment down below. Come on back to and see what we're doing on Possum Farms.